So get a pen and paper and rate yourself per category from 0 to 10 for the upcoming don'ts of flow. Okay, get a pen right now, get a piece of paper. Are you ready? Okay, ask yourself, what's the grade per topic? And then how can I improve this grade? For the following things. How do you rank on multitasking? There it is again. My favorite one. It's the most easiest to avoid, but also when you avoid multitasking, you start becoming more aware of single tasking, and single tasking is the key to focus and awareness. Yeah. So how do you rate yourself? Do you often multitask? And it can be very nitty gritty. Yeah. So eating and on your phone is multitasking. Multitasking is also switching tasks now and then. So then you are on your phone, then you are eating, not necessarily needs to be on the same time. Yeah. So rate yourself and be honest. Of course, you're not lying to me, you're lying to yourself if you are depicting things in a different way. Also, if you want to be sure if you're honest, ask others to rate yourself in this area. Then stress. How do you respond to stress? Stress is a flow killer. Stress is a limbic thing, and it comes from the fight and flight system, where your stress and basically it is fear screaming at you and taking it all over. So how do you cope with stress? Fear of failure. Are you in a growth mindset or are you in a fixed mindset? How is your self-talk? How often do you do new things? And what do you do if you fail gigantically? Do you do things in which you can fail? That's try to look at your activities from a neutral perspective. Don't judge, don't good or bad or stamp things. Just look at you and look at your activities. How often do you do the things that make you fail? And how do you respond to that? How is your self-story? What is your conviction? Do you honestly believe you can do the things that, do you honestly believe the following quote, that you can become anything, but you can't do everything? Do you believe in the fact that you, with enough training, can do anything? Like the King William did, the father of the Williams sisters. He just saw tennis, got his daughters onto tennis and drilled them, trained them every single day in, day out, according to a long plan. It's a good example of what dedication and structure did with eventually a result in this case. Growth mindset, more about mindsets in a later phase. What's your conviction in yourself, and what's the story you're telling yourself? So distractions, how often are you interrupted, distracted? How often do you look at your mail, your phone? Do you talk with others? Are you witnessing the things in life interrupting your flow, like a fly in your office room, some chatter in the background, a car passing by? How quickly are you distracted? And more about how to grow into that later. Just rate yourself for now. Do you challenge yourself? Do you do the things that match your skill level? I don't know, you should know. So write your grade down. Do you do the things you think you're hard, that you're proud of perhaps? Or are you a little bit ashamed of the things that you do, which might mean like, oh, I'm underperforming? And it's all a personal perspective, where you might feel the shame. Somebody else might think, wow. Or the other way around, where you feel like, whoa. I often see this with my kids. They are doing the things that they are really challenged about, like, oh, wow, I did this. And I thought, okay. But that's me forgetting that, okay, wait, they're on a totally different skill level. So this is indeed very impressive. They are performing above their skill rate, so to say. So again, we all witness the world from a different perspective. Then the meaning and purpose division. How much meaning and purpose do you find in your everyday activities? Grade yourself. Do you feel you're delivering value? Are you in an act of selfless service? Are you helping others with your talents? Because that's like quite a thing. Purpose is a difficult thing. Purpose often follows energy and positive flow. So it's not that you have a purpose and you follow it. No, it's the other way around. You start doing things and then purpose will follow that track. by engaging and having positive experiences, you can create your purpose. That's a beautiful thing. Then poor physical and mental health. What's your mental state? How is your self-talk at the moment? Are you up? Are you down? And being happy all the time, being high all the time is not necessarily the most best. That's not your optimal state. That's not your flow state. You're still, you're like in a, as we discussed in the quantum approach, you're not equally balanced and grounded, and you're not seeing things clearly. You're seeing things through your pink glasses. And that phase too shall pass. The same goes with your negative thoughts. The same with your darker glasses. Try to see where you are, how often do you have these peaks, and the same with your physical state. How do you feel? I at the moment have a injury in my right shoulder, and I think like, damn, I am pushing it right now. So with these videos and the scripts, I am pushing it too far. I forget to stretch, I forget to do yoga. I also snapped to my wife yesterday. So my mental state and physical state, I'm sacrificing them at the moment, which is totally unnecessary. But the monkey mind immediately said, no, you have to deliver these videos, you have to deliver these slides. And therefore, I luckily can recognize it. So I also know what to do. Like, oh, sorry, I should not have snapped. This was the reason why I snapped, and this was from my perspective. I also understand your perspective. But okay, let's talk about it and hug it out, so to say. So that. How free are you? Can you arrange your own time? Do you feel time constraints? How much of life is actually how much of your life is actually available for you? And this question might hurt. You might come to realize that you're living life for others. I am not pretty sure if that's the case, or how long you can sustain that. Perhaps start live life for yourself, and you will see you will be of more value to others because you will start to shine, so to say. Your aura might expand, and I will see. But more about chakras and auras next chat. Lack of skill of expertise. How do you rate yourself in your skills? So if you're looking for flow in a certain area, for me, for example, this video thing, I feel really uncomfortable, I can tell you that. And I'm constantly negatively criticizing myself, like, this should be better, this should be better, I should do this, And I notice that it's really disrupting my flow, but I also know, and I also experience this, I'm getting better and better in this stuff, and getting more familiar with it. Luckily, I have a lot of teaching experience I've got a lot of teaching experience, and I had similar experiences there in classrooms as well. It was a legendary first class. I thought like, hey, I should, I know the topics that I'm going to discuss. I was talking about financial balances. So already I've been talking about balance for years now. I think at least 10 years, so to say. Only it's not a financial balance, but a personal balance nowadays. But I knew the material so well, so I did not prepare my class. I was day one teaching the class, and then I got the sort of, how do you say that, in politically correct sentences. I got the class with people that subscribed for their course in the very last day, or the very last weeks, so to say. So they did not know whether they wanted to do the program, in this case Finance and Control was the program called. And it was a big ass class. So there were at least like 45 people, but the classroom was meant for 30 people or so. So the schedule was not adjusted to the amount of people. Week one, all these people like, and basically when they start at the university, they're like kids, they're like 18 years old, they're like big teenagers, so to say. So I totally, I went very wrong there, because what I did was like I started explaining, nobody was listening. A guy even answered his phone twice. So like, okay, dude, are you answering your phone now? Okay, there was 90 minutes of mayhem. I walked out of that class like bewildered, like, wow, what just happened to me? And then I vouched to myself, okay, I'm never going to let that happen again. I will prepare I will up my skills as far as long as my skills are not automated, so I'm not unaware using my skills, I will use this structure and prepare a class like a god, for example. So put in a lot of time in the preparation, and the next classes were very easy. As it turned out, the weeks after, the class diminished very quickly because half of them were never showed up anymore. And then we had a great run actually with the same class. I really like these energetic classes, so to say. That's me talking about a lack of skill. What I wanted to say is, by exposing yourself to this, I really do not feel all that comfortable yet making these videos, but I already feel like, hey, I'm getting the hang of it, so to say. So I'm getting better and better, on my own opinion though. So I hope to get all your review and feedback, and so I can learn and grow more and more, which is highly valuable for me. But expose yourself, get these skills in the game. So unfavorable conditions. What are your conditions? How's your environment? How are the people? So the physical environment. How is your room tidy? How's your financial situation? How are the people? Are they supportive, or are they draining you? What's your job look like? Do you work in an inspiring environment, etc., etc.? I fully realize that I'm very lucky that I'm born in the Netherlands. I grew up in a very warm family. Still receive a lot of love now each day. Both of my parents are still alive. Got aunts and uncles, and all my family live very close by. So my conditions are well regarding the love set. However, this is also most of my family members are not into the growth mindset. They think I'm crazy, like, I'm too ambitious, I'm overdoing stuff. So I need to balance this out, and sometimes they're right, and sometimes I feel like, no, this is so me, I have to do this, whether you say A to the Z, until Z, so to say. So yeah, lucky there, but that might not be the case for all my areas, or that might not be the case for you. So check yourself, rate yourself in that area. Also, your social environment is so important. And not only are they supportive, but are you the dumbest person in your environment? The answer should be yes, because then you can grow, because then you can learn from your environment. If you're the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. So it's a paradox. Don't be the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So for me, in my case, I tend to go to a certain community where I feel like the little boy in the class again. And I'm inspired by that community and the people. And I feel like, oh, wow, they do all these different things. They know art, they know poetry, they know... It's more than just tech and building stuff on the internet, so to say. Lack of resources or support, that's also your internal resources. So energy, how's your energy? How's your focus? How is your time and your self-management? How do you rate yourself of being resourceful? So it doesn't necessarily mean one grade. You can grade yourself in all these different areas, but grade yourself and create clarity. Knowing is half of the work. Lack of engagement. Are you engaged by this? Or number 16, are you overwhelmed often? How often are you overwhelmed? And also in 16, a very important one. So I want you to really think about this very well. How often are you bewildered? That you're like, wow. That you really feel mesmerized by a person, an activity, or an accomplishment, or a state of being, or whatever. It can be a flower. It can even be like when were the last time when you were bewildered? With kids in my surrounding, I'm very lucky to experience this daily. So yesterday, my son got his new bed. It isn't a new bed yet. We just threw a mattress on the ground, but he was so happy. His arms started to like, just for the fact I thought like, wow, he can enjoy something so intensely. Or when he sees a particular car coming by, he actually starts to fly, like fladderen, as we say it in Dutch. It's amazing. And the same with my kids. I took them to the roof yesterday, And last night, before they went to sleep, please, Dad, can we go again to the roof this tomorrow? And I said, okay. And as shitty as I am, I was in a bad place yesterday. As I mentioned, I snapped to my wife as well. I also said to my guys, no, you first have to clean your room, and then then we can go to the roof. And I literally will tell you in the next chapter that this is the opposite of what you should do when you want to build a growth mindset. But hey, dot 17, perfectionism, perfect doesn't exist. So in this case, my kids, we did going to the roof this morning, but the sheer joy of them being exposed to something new and the childish bewilderment, it's an overwhelming feeling for me. I can't describe this in words. It's like, okay, this fills up a reservoir I did not know I had. So I'm very happy to experience that. I'm very grateful for that. The perfectionism, as discussed, there's no perfect world. Do and fail and do again. Get up. So I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear on YouTube. I will probably not do it. So negative self-talk, I can give you some examples. But it's time to get to put your test or to put a mirror to yourself. How's your self-talk? What are your automated negative thoughts? All those things. We will dive into that in next chapter. Mindsets, how to reshape your story, all those things. But if you don't find flow, if you have flow, nobody's going to care about your story. It's about your flow. If you are one with the beast, if you are one with the water, nobody cares about your self-talk. Then the autonomy, again, freedom. Everything creates from freedom. If you don't know what to do anymore, how's your freedom? How do you rate your freedom? How can you access your life? Are you internally free, or are your thoughts dominating your life? Are you externally free? Are there other people or activities dominating your life? So what's the external pressure? Number 20, lack of planning, boredom. I'm pretty much done. Create yourself, do whatever you want. I'm hoping, bam, conclusion. Let's wrap this up. So actually, I'm going to do this more often. Get a pen and paper. I want you to become more active during these videos. Because otherwise it's just me giving a huge long ass rant, and after the video I feel like, how am I going to use this? So in short, use this rating and then bam, bullet points. Afterwards, how are you going to improve your grade? What are you going to do to get your multitasking rate from a 6 to a 10? Why not a 10? What are you missing? Okay, crystal clear it seems, but just act. You know what to do, act. Don't listen to the overcaring mother. No, you get to do this. Act. I can't emphasize this enough. Oh, I do like the final thought that comparison is the thief of all joy. Find your own style. Yeah, so look at your own grades. Don't care a thing about other people in this case. Just be honest to yourself, self-reflection, and then action. Self-reflection should lead to action, and the other way around. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. I think we're good to go. That's a wrap. Thank you all for listening. I will see you to the downsides of flow triggers. Will be a bit shorter one.